Alright, so now what we're going to do is take a look at the distributive property. And the distributive property is basically multiplication in disguise. So the distributive property is what we're taking a look at here. Let me show you an example with numbers first, and just to show you that it actually works. You probably wouldn't use the distributive property in an example like this, but it does demonstrate how it works and that it is effective. So let's say that we had 2 times the quantity 3 plus 4, and we wanted to know what that was worth if we simplified it. Okay. Now if you're following the order of operations, you're going to work in the parentheses and you're going to get 7. And then you have 2 times 7, which is 14. Okay. Using the distributive property, we would solve this problem a different way. We start out with the same problem, but the distributive property says that we're going to take and distribute the 2 into the parentheses, and we're going to multiply when we distribute. So we'd take 2 times 3 and get 6, and 2 times 4 and get 8, and since it's positive I'm going to add it, and then when we add 6 and 8 we get 14, which is the same answer we got following the order of operations. So that's basically how the distributive property works, and you're going to see that more often than not when you use the distributive property you're going to have variables inside the parentheses which keep you from adding or subtracting the 2 terms inside the parentheses together. So the distributive property is the only way to simplify. Alright, so let's take a look at a few examples here of using the distributive property. So the first problem here, we're going to say that we have 6 times the quantity x plus 3. Now we're not allowed to add x and 3 together because they're not like terms, so we can't do that, so we're going to have to use the distributive property here. So I draw my arrows for the distributive property, and what I'm going to do is take 6 times x. It's going to give me 6x because I multiply the coefficient 1. There's a 1 right here we have to remember, times 6 to get 6x. And then I take 6 times 3, and it's positive 18, so I write plus 18. And this would be my answer. I would have simplified my expression by doing that. Let's take a look at another one here. Let's say we had 8 times the quantity. When I say times the quantity, that means parentheses are coming up. A minus B. Again, there's a 1 in front of that A and a 1 in front of that B. Anytime you have variables, if there's no number in front that you can see, it's an invisible 1. So we distribute, and we get 8A minus 8B. Let's say we have negative 3 times the quantity y minus 4. So this gives us negative 3y plus, this time, 12, because a negative 3 times a negative 4 is a positive amount, positive 12. Let's say we had this, negative 1 times the quantity 6n plus 5. In this case, you have to remember that there's a negative 1 there, even though we don't see it. And so when we distribute, it's negative 1 times 6n, which is negative 6n, and negative 1 times 5, which is negative 5, just like that. And we'll do one more here. We have negative 4 times the quantity negative 8 minus 3x. I'm going to distribute, and that gives us 32 positive and plus 12x. Now when I write this, I'm going to put 12x first because it has a variable, and 32 is positive, so plus 32 last. Constants, you're usually going to see them written last, so that's what we'd have for that one. Alright, that's the distributive property.